tell you all firsthand how blood cancer, specifically leukemia, has affected her and her family, and what it means for them to be here this week. So I would like to invite Farrell Porcelli to come on up and share with us a little bit about her family.
Thank you, Tracy. In March of 2003, my 5-year-old granddaughter, Katie, was rushed to the hospital in the middle of a blizzard because her pediatrician said she must go to the hospital immediately. Linda and Ed took her, and shortly after that, I got a call that Katie had been admitted with a diagnosis of acute lymphoblastic leukemia. This was a call I will never forget. From that moment on, I don't trust phone calls. Oh my God, what do you do? Who to tell and how to tell them? I felt so alone. I was babysitting at Lael's. I called my husband. Then when Lael and Weege got home from work, we dug my car out of the snow, and I made my way slowly to Lynn's house to take care of Katie's sister, Chloe. Time stood still that night. I simply told Chloe that Katie was sick and had to be in the hospital, and Mom and Dad would be home in the morning. Later we went to bed, she in her room and I on the couch. During the night she came and snuggled with me, next to me on the couch. We didn't speak, and finally we slept, wrapped around each other, and at that moment I knew what I had to do. I would become the housekeeper, shopper, chauffeur. Lorenzo and I would do everything we could so that Lynn could focus on Katie's care and cure. Sister Chloe was loving, caring, and helpful to her younger sister in this difficult time, and all of our lives changed forever. We are stronger. I never lost hope, but when I was scared and didn't want anyone to know it, I took a shower, because I found it was easy to cry in the shower. My journey with Team in Training began after Katie's 2.5 years of treatment. In 2006, I did my first half marathon, country music in Nashville. I've done 8 half marathons. This is my 4th time doing Nike. Katie carried me over the finish line in each one. I became a mentor and a walk coach. In my spare time, I have volunteered for LLS in many different roles and continue to do so. In 2008, the first time I did Nike in San Francisco, I returned home to show Katie my Tiffany medal. She said, "I'd like to do that with you." I told her, "When you turn 16, we will do it." And here we are, doing it. How's that for Sweet 16? Thank you again, LLS, for the honor of sharing our story with you and for the impact you have had on our lives. We are stronger and positively strong in our resolve to find cures for cancer. And thank you all for doing what you do. And now, it is my honor to proudly introduce Lael, my daughter, Katie's aunt, a beautiful, kind, loving, big-hearted, fun-loving motivator like you've never seen before.
It's so great to be here with you all. I've been in your seats a dozen times, but find it such an honor to be chosen to tell our story and hope that it will inspire you in some small way. I remember the minute my mom told me that Katie was diagnosed with leukemia. I had just gotten home from work when she broke the news. I think she barely finished her sentence when I dropped everything and ran upstairs and screamed and cried. I was devastated, to say the least. All I knew from when I was little was that leukemia was a death sentence. When I finally calmed down, my mom told me that her prognosis was 85% and that was a good number. But seriously, 85%? That wasn't good enough for me. I was mad and upset and felt guilty all at the same time. Why was this happening to my niece and my sister, not me instead? There was nothing I could even do to fix it. I remember rushing to the Disney store to pick out a Tinkerbell nightgown for Katie to wear in the hospital. There were tears streaming down my face, and I was secretly hoping that the gown would wrap her in pixie dust and cure her immediately. I began organizing a silent art auction and rallied all of our artist friends to donate their artwork to help Linda and Eddie pay for medical bills. It was a huge success, but I still felt helpless. In 2008, I joined TNT, thanks to my mom, and I've never looked back. With tons of races, triathlons, swims, and mentoring under my belt, with all my friends and family thinking I was crazy, I finally felt like I was doing something to help. I was raising money and physically challenging myself with Katie on my mind every step of the way. So tomorrow, when you're on the course, if you start to struggle at all, just think of Katie's resilience and determination, and it will get you through to the finish line. I'm living proof that it works. Nike San Francisco 2008 was my very first half marathon with Team in Training, and on my 6th anniversary with TNT, it is a huge honor to be crossing the finish line with all of you tomorrow. But it is also a dream come true to be crossing it with my Katie girl by my side. And now I introduce to you my hero, my brave, strong, and beautiful sister, Lind.
Thank you, Val. Love you. I'd like to give a quick shout out to Katie's crew. You've done such an awesome job. Could you guys just quickly stand up? No idea what they were getting into when they decided to do this with us. I'll never forget the day in March 2003 that without a doubt was the worst day of my life. It was shortly after Katie's 5th birthday. Katie hadn't been feeling well and the doctor had run some labs. The doctor called telling us Katie's labs looked alarming and we had to go immediately to the hospital on icy roads during a blizzard where a hematology oncologist would be waiting for us. I felt as though the floor had fallen out beneath me. Within the hour, we were being told that our beautiful, sweet girl had acute lymphoblastic leukemia. We were sent straight to the hospital to be admitted. I remember sitting stunned in a small room at the hospital after the oncologist handed me a stack of paperwork to sign for protocols and clinical trials. Totally overwhelmed, I called the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. They provided us with educational material and support that helped us navigate the complicated and overwhelming medical system. Katie bravely endured over 2 years of chemotherapy. It's been a long road of survivorship, a road we're grateful to be on. There is, however, a cost of survivorship as well. Educational setbacks, hearing loss, vision changes, fine motor control, and fertility issues are not uncommon. It is my hope that as research progresses on the path to a cure, we are able to further improve the quality of patients' lives. When Katie was diagnosed, we were told her odds of survival were 85%. 30 years ago, her odds would have been a lot worse. Vast improvements have been made, but an 85% survival rate means we're losing 15 kids out of every 100 diagnosed with ALL. 15 kids in every 100 is too many. We have come so far, but there is so much more work to do. The dollars raised by all of you here today help fund that work. Together, we truly can make a difference. I'm happy to say Katie is a healthy 16-year-old now, 9 years off treatment. She's been eagerly awaiting this day. Proud mom to get in on the action. And I can't think of a better way to celebrate all our blessings. And speaking of blessings, our story wouldn't be complete without including Katie's big sister, Chloe. The impact on siblings is tremendous and often overlooked. She was forced to grow up way faster than she should have and took on a lot of responsibility and independence without a single complaint. She has grown into a successful and beautiful young woman who took time away from her busy college life to fly out here to cross the finish line with her sister. Come on up, Chloe. Now it is my great honor, my heart bursting with pride, to introduce my inspiration, my daughter, Katie Smerkak, your 2014 National Honor Society.
Good afternoon. My name is Katie Smerkak. I am a 16-year-old junior at Sleepy Hollow High School in Sleepy Hollow, New York. I like to hang out with friends, watch scary movies, and eat pizza. I am also a leukemia survivor. When I was 5 years old, I was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia. I was once asked how leukemia affected my life and what it has been like. In all honesty, it has been my life. I don't remember pre-diagnosis. Living with cancer was all I knew growing up. I remember sitting in kindergarten and seeing one of my friends struggling to open a box of pretzels. And as I got up to offer my help, another student stood between us saying, "Oh no, you don't want her help. You don't want to catch cancer." There were times when I wasn't invited to parties and wondered if it was simply because they just didn't understand what cancer was. One of my fondest memories was a back-to-school program sponsored by the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, where society members came into my first grade classroom. We watched a video together and they answered my classmates' questions. I remember feeling so happy that I even did a happy dance in front of the whole class. I started chemotherapy before I started kindergarten. From the very start, I would come home from school almost in tears, wondering why school was so hard. As a result of the educational programs LLS offered, my parents knew where to seek help. I am proud to say I am now taking AP classes and this past week have been invited to join the National Honor Society. My aunt and my grandmother joined Team in Training shortly after my diagnosis and have been participants ever since. I've been so inspired by their dedication that I promised myself that when I turned 16, I would do my first marathon in TNT. Since the age of 10, I bugged my mother about when I could finally participate. I even went as far as hoping they could make a special survivor's age exception. But my mom told me rules were rules, so I was just gonna have to wait. Sitting around the dinner table at my 16th birthday party, my aunt, grandma, and I talked about how I was finally old enough to sign up for Nike. As the three of us decided it was a go, our eyes slowly made their way to my mother, the last holdout, whose only words were, "Uh-oh." So San Francisco, here we are. Margaret Mead once said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has." True heroes are the patients enduring hours of treatment. I walk this marathon in honor of them and in memory of those we've lost. I'm proud to be an honored teammate and hope to be as much of an inspiration to the athletes as they have been to us. Thank you.
I was a little late coming up because I had to join the crew. Thank you. Isn't that an amazing family? So beautiful. And such a wonderful story, and wow, how many generations can we impact? Many. Whether it's doing team and training or generations in the future with the research that's being done. So thank you again, everyone. And thank you for the beautiful Porcelli family for being here and being Katie's crew. We'll see Katie tomorrow morning at the start line. She'll be speaking on behalf of LLS at 6:01 a.m., so you won't want to miss that start line.